Everybody. Okay, thank you. Push that, I guess. All right. And there's our chief. Welcome this evening, Chief Mata. Great to see you. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Today is Flag Day, so I wanted to remind everybody, if you could see me, you could see my flag. Flag Day, I had my flag out, and I had a little, I was going to do a little quiz, but we might as well keep going. The first year the US flag had 50 stars was in 1960. So I thought that was interesting to know because the flag has changed so many times. So today is Flag Day. Welcome everybody. We have a change in the order of the agenda. I want to bring, after we do the treasurer's report, we will have the introduction of the police chief, Amada. Okay, otherwise the rest of it is the same. All righty then. My name is Linda Locke. For anybody that doesn't know, I think everybody here knows me already. The minutes came out. If you have any questions about the minutes, Ty is not available tonight. So if you see anything, any problems with the minutes for the May 10th meeting, make note of it, and then we'll let Ty know when he comes back. He's up in Oregon visiting his new grandbaby. All right. And then Susan, the treasurer's report.
Hi, good evening, everyone. If you hear a dog barking, I'm okay. She just wants to join the meeting. So this is the budget report for May 2021. Our beginning balance on May 1st, 2021 was $3,431.50. We had no income or expenses, so the ending balance on May 31st, 2021 was $3,431.50. The Beautify San Jose Grant Cycle 3 beginning balance May 1st, 2021 was $1,397.35. We had no expenses, and the ending balance was the same, $1,397.35. Then we have a City of San Jose District 4 grant. May 1st, 2021, the beginning balance was $10,000. We've had no expenses, and the ending balance May 31st, 2021 is $10,000. And because we're at the end of our meeting year, I wanted to let everybody know that we had a total of 74 paid memberships from January till now. So thank you everybody for supporting this meeting.
Great, that's good news. Thank you. Okay. I have to take notes too because Ty's not here. All right. We'll go on to, Eric, do you want to take down the bulletin now? And then I can't see everybody otherwise. Thank you. All right. We will, I say introduce, but I kind of feel like it's reintroduce the chief. I have to remind myself it's not Captain Mata, but Police Chief Anthony Mata. We remember you from the 2016 year when you used to come and visit our program and give us reports. And so we're very proud that you made it to be chief, and we welcome you tonight to give us whatever information you'd like to share with us.
Sure, thank you, and good evening, everyone. As Ms. Locke had mentioned, I'm your new police chief of almost 3 months, but with the department for over 25 years. And back in 2016, I was your Foothill Division captain, which now Captain Trayer is your captain now in the Foothill Division and is providing you with exceptional services because I've heard it from everyone in the community out in the Foothill Division. Mm-hmm. I attended meetings where the same accolades have been provided to him. So I thank Captain Trayer for his work there. But thank you again, Linda, for inviting me. I know that Sharon Root is a person that I've met when I was Foothill out there. and show was, I think Susan. I think I see her on here. Welcome. Good to see you all again, and thank you for inviting me to the BCAC meeting. And I want to start off by providing you all with my vision. My vision for this police department is that every person in this city have the highest trust and confidence in this police department. And how we're going to accomplish that is through providing exceptional service at all levels, and also by building strong community relationships. And when I talk about at all levels, that means when we respond to calls, when we investigate specific incidents, and also follow-up. That's something that we need to improve on because I think it's important for our community to know why we do things, how we do things, and more importantly is what happened, right? That's very important to me. But we cannot do that without building strong community relationships. And that's why we all became officers, to serve our community and to help out in any way we can. So that's very important to me. And that's the vision that I've shared with our command staff and also my executive staff, and in the hopes of providing our community with the best services possible, and also building that trust and confidence with our community. I also want to discuss my priorities for the department. I know that there are a lot of challenges currently right now in our profession, but I think these align with my vision. And the first one is to stabilize our resources. What I mean by that is ensuring that we have enough resources and equipment and staffing for our police officers to provide the best services we can to our community. So that includes staffing, like I mentioned, equipment. And I think what's important to know, for the community to know, is that as we're going through the budget process, that 90% of the police department's budget is for salaries and personnel. 10% is for the equipment and other resources that I just mentioned that we need to support our officers with. So not only they maintain themselves and the other officers safe, but also the community. So 10% is left for our equipment and other resources. That is why our department always applies and seeks for grant funding, whether it be at the federal level, at the state level, and whatever other grants are available to provide additional resources for our officers. I know there's been talk this last year about defunding the police, but I think it's important for the community to understand where our money goes and what it's allotted for in our police budget. So that's one of my priorities in terms of stabilizing our department resources. The second priority, and again, they're not in order because they're all high priorities for me, is participating in reimagining community safety. Again, as a result of the George Floyd incident and the civil unrest this past summer or last year, May, we understand, and I understand, that our police services and what we do needs to change. We understand that there's a high interest and high call volume of mental health issues, substance abuse issues, people that are unhoused, and other issues that are typically weren't the role of the police department, but because we're available, we have been tasked with those to handle those issues and those matters. I certainly understand that the police department has a role to play in keeping the community and other service providers safe. So to eliminate the police department completely, again, in my opinion, wouldn't be a good a good position to take because, again, we have a role to play in public safety. And much like we have a pilot program currently right now where we have officers paired up with county clinicians as part of our mobile crisis assessment team, or MCAT. They respond out currently to a majority of our mental health calls. And I'm happy to say that it's been working well. Although it's a pilot program, we are seeking funding to make this program and these officers permanent. And what I mean permanent is right now these officers have been taken out of the beat structure to participate in this pilot program. So what we want to do is make those permanent positions so we can hire additional officers so they can focus on this type of service. And again, it's been going well because they, like every officer, but they specifically are trained to handle people in mental health crises along with the clinicians. So that's going very well. The other priority of mine is to develop or improve our community engagement. And I understand that our profession has hurt some members of our community. And that's going back to the start of law enforcement. And I acknowledge that, and we need to do better. And in order to, again, build that trust and confidence in the police department, we have to engage our community in dialogue. We have to listen. We don't have all the answers. And that's why I think in partnership with the community and other government agencies, service providers, we can achieve that goal of building trust and confidence and then providing the best service possible. And that's what I intend to do, is engage with our community by attending community events such as we are now and others when this opens up tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Be assured that along with your captain and lieutenants and all the officers in the Foothill Division, we will be engaged with community events in Berryessa. And one thing to also recognize is that each community requires different police services. That's why it's important for us to listen to our community because, like I said, we don't have all the answers. The community understands and can provide us with the information that is needed for us to provide the best service possible. And when those issues or those services are not police related, we can be a resource. We can make that connection to other city agencies, other county agencies, or other service providers. So again, that's why one of my priorities is develop and improve our community engagement to that effect. I understand there are several issues that haven't changed since I was the captain, which is speeding, people not obeying the laws, following the rules. The firework issue. I mean, that's a year-round issue. I know that we have, and I know that the city has experienced a rise in violent crime, and those are some of the things that we're tackling along with all the captains here in the Bureau of Field Operations, along with the Deputy Chief Stan McFadden, who again, this is a priority for us to ensure that our communities are safe. But know that in working with the community and others, we are going to tackle these issues because it all starts with being responsible, being a good neighbor, taking responsibility for our actions, where we know that there are certain elements or certain people in our community that do not, which we have to respond to when they do not. But know that you have an ally, and myself and the whole San Jose Police Department, to ensuring that our community is kept safe and that we're responsive to your needs. And I know that Captain Trayer will talk about more in terms of a status report in the Berryessa area. But again, I'm happy to be here. happy to be a resource for you any way I can. And as I worked with in the past with some of you, you know that I will follow through. And that's one of my priorities in terms of following through and making sure that we keep our community safe. So with that, I don't know if time allows for any questions. I can stay on a little bit longer, maybe after Captain Traer does his presentation, and I'll be online as well. So again, thank you, Ms. Locke, for inviting me to speak today to the BCAC.
You're most welcome. We've been strong supporters of the San Jose Police Department. In November, we were saying goodbye to Eddie Garcia, the chief at that time, but was also a tribute to the whole police department, because we were very, we've done coffee with the cops about 3 or 4 times. And, we just want to be able to do whatever is needed to show our community that we're working with you. So we're happy to have you. And we'll let Captain Traer do his thing now, because he gives us lots of information. All right, Captain.
Oh. Hi, Chief. Thank you all for having me again tonight. It's been a whirlwind since I saw you last. So first of all, Captain Durr is here, and I want to recognize him because he was next to me during the VTA shooting incident. He was there with me, and I can't thank him enough for, we've worked together. We met through your organization. So it turned out that's a pretty good friendship. Not only does he owe me lunch, but he was there during the day, and he helped me speak with everybody over at the Sheriff's Department when all that stuff was happening. So I wanted to start with that for just a moment to kind of take a step back and look at the VTA incident. I'm sure everybody here knows about it, but hopefully if you knew somebody that was involved, they were a survivor, but 9 people didn't survive, and it was a big day for the San Jose Police Department, for the Sheriff's Department. I couldn't be more proud of the officers, the men and women that went in that day from both departments to really give their lives for the community. So I just want to take a second, and some of you reached out to me with accolades and thank yous for that. And I tell you, I am equally as proud of the men and women that went in that day. So I just wanted to touch base on that real quick, because that was a big one. And the second big incident that we dealt with very soon after that was the officer-involved shooting, where 2 undercover officers were doing some recon on a house that they were working up on a suspect for a robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. And the suspect walked over, if you saw the video, opened the door to the undercover police car and pointed a gun at the officer. And that, unfortunately, that suspect lost his life when our officer had to shoot him. So I wanted to bring those things up, so they're on the table if you have any questions about that, because those were big incidents that happened a couple weeks ago. And those have been big things that our chief unfortunately had to deal with, but has been a great leader through that. Like Chief said, the fireworks are real. I've been out there. I hear the fireworks. I'm on the night shift now. I was on day shift when I first met you guys, but I switched over to the night shift. And so I'm out there, and I've seen, even yesterday when I was driving around the neighborhood, I was up near Suncrest, and I saw some of the fireworks already starting to happen. I'm sure you heard them. There is a new way to handle that now with our city, and I can put the link in the chat in a minute, but you are able to report your neighbors if you feel inclined, and you can do it anonymously, or you can do it with your name if you feel up for it, and you can report your neighbors. It will involve an administrative citation being sent to the neighbor's house. And there's some information. If you click on the link, it'll tell you how you can do that, but it is kind of a newer program and gives you a chance to report maybe an egregious violator of fireworks. You can imagine how many phone calls we get on the weekend, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th related to fireworks. And Bob, I'm not sure if you were going to talk about the road closures, but I'll just kind of give you a chance to do that. But I can tell you that we are looking at diverting traffic on Suncrest on the 4th of July, on Sierra Road, and on Mount Hamilton at Alum Rock. But I promise you that it's not going to be just San Jose Police. It's going to be San Jose Police, the Sheriff's Department, and CHP. And we've met, hence the lunches I was talking about. But we've met and figured out kind of a way to do it that would be very uninvasive, hopefully for you, but also keep the people who are just there to spectate on fireworks out of the neighborhood, because it really becomes a fire safety hazard. We're working with San Jose Fire Department, and I'll email you all kind of the way we're going to handle it when we sort it out. We have one more meeting on the 28th, but we'll be able to check and make sure that the people, your guests, are still able to go up there, and it won't be inconvenient for any of them. Fortunately, Captain Durr and Captain Reardon from CHP have done this before, so I'm working off of a lot of the intel that they had before, and we'll make sure it's as safely as possible. We've been getting a lot of gun arrests up on Suncrest. The people that go up to watch, I guess, the sunset, hang out, drink, litter, all the things that we don't like happening up there. I have counted 5 gun arrests in the last month and a half, so 6 weeks. Very proactive officers, including, unfortunately, the officer that got hurt. Thank you all for the letters. I've probably received 15 individual letters from your team, and I hand deliver them myself to the officer who's still recovery, heavy recovery, and I touched base with him yesterday. So it means a lot to him, and he knows he was up there for you, and he was trying to be proactive for you and for our community. So just keep him in your thoughts and prayers, because he's worth it, and slowly but surely he is recovering. It's going to be many, many months of recovery for him. That's about all the update on him right now. There was an arson that I wanted to talk to you about. It was at Berryessa and 680, and there were quite a few arsons. It was related to a lady. I sent our street crimes team out there, and they were able to figure out where she was, and she's in custody now. And since May 11th, which is when she was in custody, brought into custody, there's been no arsons there at that little bore point. There were a lot. There were probably 5 or 6 of them, and they were all related to her. She likes allegedly lighting the fires. So we're getting her some help while she's in custody, but at the same time, she's being held, and I am seeking a restraining order to keep her out of that area. So the residents that live right around there, it's an area you drive through every day, I'm sure. So I wanted to let you know a little update on the arsonists. There were small fires, but those small fires become big fires, right, in that area, because it's very dry right now. Finally, I've got a couple things. We had the homicide, which is not too far from you guys, on just off of Morill. The name of the street starts with a D. Dome. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's slipping my mind right now. But that was a homicide, and I spoke to the homicide unit. It's just north of Berryessa there. I spoke to the homicide unit commander today, and he told me that it was okay to let you know that the homicide suspect was in custody, and there's no danger to the community right now. But it was kind of a domestic-ish related thing that happened, and the suspect was taken into custody. So I've gotten a few emails about that one. Other than that, 108 traffic violations, predominantly on Berryessa, all over Berryessa. The team was working that one for me. And there were probably 18, I tried to count through the spaces, that were related to Sierra Road. I know there's always a question about that. 18 during the last 30 days. And I have 70 proactive stops from the cops, which is a great number. They are getting a lot of gun arrests off of gang members. And they're just very proactive, happy officers. Fortunately, I get to see the night officers now, because when I work daytime, I didn't always get to see them. And they love our community. They're out there working hard for you, and are making stops to try and keep it safer for all of us. I'm going to stop right there, because there's a lot on the agenda tonight. Anybody have any questions for me?
Questions?
Yeah, I actually just have a comment. I think that I speak for the majority of the people in regards to the deep funding issue. We are definitely against the deep funding of the police department. So rest assured that I think the majority of the people do support our police department, and funding is important for that. Just another comment in regards to your patrolling of various areas. And there is one area, it's called Whitman Way, which goes up to the water the water recycling area, and it's on the corner of Whitman and Vista Del Mar. There are quite a few cars that always congregate there, particularly around the 4th of July, etc. So that might be another street to look out for.
Thank you for letting me know. And I have like roving cars that night, patrol officers, and they'll be able to roll around and find those areas like that. But I would have not known that if you didn't tell me. So thank you very much for letting me know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. You always give such a nice, thorough report. It's very satisfying to hear. Sheriff Captain Doerr, welcome tonight.
Good evening. Good evening, Chief Todd. Thank you for letting us participate in your group. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information for you because I fell short today because the lieutenant didn't give me all that information he usually does. But he's off today for the next couple of days. Well-deserved short vacation. But regarding the active shooter, definitely, we just showed how all the training and working together with allied agencies and even VTA came in really worked in well. It was a controlled chaos the first 30 minutes, obviously, but it was definitely training kicked in. All the allied agencies worked very well together. That's, everybody just didn't care for themselves, for their safety, just ran into we had lieutenants and sergeants and running in their shorts into them. They were just working out in the morning. They just threw their vest on, their gun belt, and ran in. It was that type of response. It's so it's greatly appreciated with our allied agencies. It really is. We had another shooting the week after, right in front of our training center, a block away. That was kind of a little crazy. Also, luckily it was on San Jose's jurisdiction, so San Jose came in and took it over. Just kidding. It was we worked together really well. But Sierra Road, we're getting ready for the 4th of July. We're going to have about 4 or 5 checkpoints. We haven't narrowed it down all the way, but we're going to close off pretty much anything that they're going to. Last year, I think we got caught short. They kind of tricked us. They came around the mountain, over flooded us. But this time we're going to be way ahead of them. We have going to have electronic signs at the bottom telling everybody we're closed, we're blocked. We're going to have roving patrols. We're going to have CHP, San Jose, and our units, Sheriff's Office. Today, Supervisor Otto Lee mentioned he was trying to get us 2 FTEs for 2 full-time employees for Sierra Road enforcement. They kind of pushed it back till August, so we're still waiting. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions, concerns, please share them.
Any questions for the Sheriff's Department tonight?
Linda, this is Dick
Yes, Dick.
Santos.
Yeah.
Just want to express my sincere respect. And, the VTA is one thing and brought everybody together, and we all see it. And like Cedar said, there's no doubt you cannot have a society without police. And we ask them to do our dirty work all the time. And so they're there 7/24. We respect them. We'll continue funding you. And thank you for the service that you provide us. And so we can go to sleep at night knowing you're out there helping us. So thank you so much from all of you, from the captains to the chief.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that comment. Okay. Now, I haven't seen all these people yet. Tim Orozco isn't here tonight, is he? I don't see him anywhere. For Senator Wojciechowski. So we want to make these reports. If anybody is here tonight, maybe we're supposed to be on vacation. But anyway, keep the The reports are really succinct. I don't, so you see Tim, like I say, usually Anurag is here representing Alex Lee, but they have something else going on. But he did send out the flyer regarding the emergency preparedness, which will be on Friday, June 25th from 12 to 1:30. And so it's with our, if you go to our website, you'll see that flyer there. And it also went out with our agenda. So those two things are done. Rokana, I don't see. Otto Lee, not here tonight. Alexander is here for Councilman David Cohen. Somewhere. Hello. Go ahead, Alexander. I know you turned off the mute, but we don't hear you. We don't hear you, we don't see you. I see your name. Look. Eric, do you know what's going on with him? Alexander, hello. He's up there. Can't hear anything.
Linda, he just wrote in the text that he's
Yeah.
gonna try to rejoin the call because for some reason his microphone isn't working.
Oh, okay. Thank you for, I just saw a flash of something. So thanks for reading that for me. Didn't see it. Well, we'll go on in the Santa Clara Valley Water District. Dick Santos is here.
Yeah, hi to everybody. We'll keep on praying for rain, but back today, we've been having emergency meetings and our CEO reached out to Governor Newsom. It's easy to ask for money and all these things, but you got to have water. So today we had a major session with Southern California opportunities for transfers of water. Of course, we're on top of that. The price is sky high. Everybody wants water. And I can say this, please take advantage of the rebate programs for water conservation, because if you can save that water, that's the best you can do. And the prices are going up and water is scarce and everybody is working 7/24. And there is no easy way of doing it. We all have to chip in and come together. It's unfortunately these last few years we've had challenges from C-19 to you name it. And we're all coming back together, but you can't live without water. So we're all working very, very hard. And it's a hell of a challenge, but we're up for it. I really believe we're doing a great job and we'll see what happens. But again, my phone number, or you can contact me, I'm 7/24. I enjoy what I do. If I can help somebody and if you need something, let me know. But keep on, again, water conservation is a way of life. And until the day we're gone, that's just the way it is. We're in an arid position. All reports from NASA to Stanford Scientific says we may have 10 and 20-year droughts. So we're trying to prepare. It's not easy, but we'll make it. Anyway, chip in, and if you need something, give me a call. And thank you, Linda.
Alrighty. Thanks, Dick, for the report. All
All right,
right.
can you all hear me now? Is my mic working?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, great. Should I go ahead and give the report on behalf of Councilmember Cohen?
Yes.
All right. Well, first of all, I apologize for the microphone snafu there, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all tonight. So I just want to share a quick report on what's been happening at City Council over the last month, as well as some exciting updates for Berryessa. So first, over the last month, the council has approved contracts for the repaving and maintenance of a few dozen miles of local streets in District 4. And those are mostly focused on Berryessa streets that are most in need of repairs. So over the coming months, you're going to see a lot of work being done to improve the roads in Berryessa and just give them some much needed TLC. So if you want to check and see when your neighborhood is scheduled to get street repairs, you can go ahead and check the city's pavement maintenance map, which I'm dropping a link to in the chat. In addition to the planned street repairs, we're happy to say that during the budget process, our office was able to secure nearly $150,000 for safety improvements on various streets. And that's to prevent sideshows and reckless driving. Captain Trayer mentioned a lot of incidents on Sierra. That's one of the streets we're prioritizing. And the funding is also for beautification projects and social events down in Alum Rock Park. So keep an eye out for some fun activities in the park over the coming summer. We also want to urge folks to continue reaching out to us to let us know which streets you're seeing reckless driving on, which streets you're seeing sideshow activity on, so we can prioritize those streets during the next budget process as well. Lastly, I'm excited to share a quick update on what will soon be District 4's first dog park on Piedmont Road. So the Penitentiary Creek Dog Park is slated to begin construction in March of next year, with completion scheduled for that fall. So it won't be long before folks have a place in Berryessa to spend some time with their four-legged friends. So that's about it from our office. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us at district4@sanjoseca.gov. Thank you all again. Hope you all have a great night.
Okay, thank you, Alexander, for being here and giving us that report. Appreciate it. All right, what is next? I think that's it. I don't think Jeff Fairfield is here. Vishnu isn't here. He's celebrating being out of school, probably. Robin's not here. All right.
Oh, and I can do my report.
Oh, yes, there you are. Okay. What am I missing? I kept looking at that. Okay, good. Good point, Days from BUSD.
No problem. Thank you. And good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's good to see everybody tonight. Last week, we brought our school year to a close. So we had quite a bit of celebration with car parades and car commencements for our 8th graders, doing our best to give them some in-person congratulations, on their completion of their time in Berryessa. Today, we started our summer school sessions. So we are offering summer school for our English learner students, our special education students. We're also offering summer school in math, in the areas of math for 3rd grade through 8th grade, and also in computer science in partnership with the Silicon Valley Ed Foundation. So those are always very popular. We always have a lot of students participating in those programs. I also wanted to remind everyone that even though it's summer now, Berryessa Union continues to partner with Bay Area Community Health, and we have COVID-19 testing that will occur this Wednesday at Sierramont Middle School. So anyone interested in COVID-19 testing, if you're getting ready to travel and need a negative test, it's a PCR test. So it's really quick, 48-hour turnaround. It's open to our entire community from 1 to 5 p.m. In addition to that, we are having a vaccination clinic this Friday at Sierramont Middle School as well. So we had a clinic at the end of May for all of our students ages 12 through 15. We had well over almost 300 individuals show up to that event. So we were really excited about that. All students that came through the vaccination event will get their 2nd dose this Friday. But I also want to share that we're also opening up this Friday's opportunity to 1st dose vaccinations as well. And that's for all ages 12 and up. And it's a very convenient process. It's a drive-through. We've partnered with Safeway for this vaccination event. They'll be doing Pfizer. If you go to the district website, it is by appointment, and it'll be from 1 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So we welcome, anyone in our community to take advantage of these health opportunities. And then we'll go silent for a little bit as everyone gets ready and prepared for a new school year. Our first day back will be August 16th. And we're looking forward to welcoming all of our students back to our schools in person. We are still waiting for revised safety guidelines from CDPH. Those are supposed to come by the end of June. And, we look forward to learning about that. Berryessa is very confident in the safety mitigation measures we've put in place already, since we were able to welcome students back since April. And so we certainly look forward, though, to all those voices and smiles back onto our campuses for the new school year. So again, we appreciate our community's support as we navigated the pandemic and tried to do our very best to support our students and their families. And on behalf of our Board of Trustees and myself, we wish everyone a wonderful and safe summer.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's a lot of information. August 16th. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's terribly early. Before my birthday. I had to go back to school one year on my birthday. I thought that was really rude then. I see Robert Roemer is here from the BTA Community Advisory. Do you have a report for us tonight?
Yeah, just real quick, and I put it in the chat as well. I
Okay.
put a link in there for if you want to help out the families of the fallen and all the others that have been affected by this tragedy. Obviously, VTA service is not yet back to normal. You'll probably see still some buses from other agencies helping out to try to get riders around. There are some new changes just implemented today. So if you do use transit, it's probably helpful to go online and check out what has changed and what the current schedule is for buses and light rail and so forth. And just lastly, because I assume that some of you might go back through Trimble. It's obviously on the other side of D4, but Trimble 101 interchange, they're going to do an upgrade to that, and construction will be awarded this Friday and is scheduled to start in August and will then last till presumably 2024. And they're upgrading that interchange, widening Trimble and adding bike ped path as well. Thank you. Those are my updates.
Hey, kind of faded out there a little for me, but
Well,
I don't like taking notes. I don't do it.
it's everything.
Miss Ty already.
It's everything in the chat, so you can
Okay.
just.
Okay, good thing. That good thing. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you so much. I think that's it for all our updates. So our guest speaker tonight is Marc Landgraf. Oh my gosh, Landgraf. With the Open Space Authority, and he's going to give us a presentation tonight. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Very much appreciated. Hello, everyone. I wanted to note that people with their hands up, I don't know, I think they're the two attendees. I don't know if you want to take those first before my presentation or not. Linda, I think you're on mute.
I am on mute. All right. Is there somebody with their hand up that had a comment or a question? Hello? I don't see that. So, anybody else have their hand up? Questions?
Let's just proceed. If they have something they want to say, they can put it in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead with Marc and the Open Space Authority. Thanks, Marc.
Okay, thank you, Linda. And yeah, good evening, everybody. Marc Landgraf, I'm the External Affairs Manager at the Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority. And before I start my presentation, I do have a PowerPoint to share here, but I just want to join in the other voices in thanking our law enforcement professionals here on the call tonight that have done their updates and that work so hard every day in the community, especially the officers, deputies that put their lives on the line every day for public service. Just can't do enough to express our appreciation for everything that they do. So with that, if I can go ahead and share my screen. Looks like I need to be allowed to share my screen before I can do that.
Try it again.
Try again.
There we go. I think this will work this time.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So can everybody see that?
Yes.
Super. Well, I'm going to take about 15 minutes or so through my slides here, and then there should be time for questions at the end. I know everybody's got things to do, so I don't want to take too long on this, but I do want to give you this update about what the Open Space Authority has been doing since we last presented to the BCAC, and especially what we've been doing up in the Berryessa area. So for those that aren't as familiar with us, we are a special district. So we are an independent public agency with about 50 staff based in San Jose that was created in 1993 by very active citizens who wanted to balance growth in Silicon Valley with protection of an open space green belt around the edges. And since then, we've protected over 26,000 acres, most of that in the areas immediately around urban areas of Silicon Valley, especially in the South Bay, just south of, and even some in the city of San Jose, as well as in the hills above Berryessa and further to the east. Let me see if I can advance my slide here. There we go. So this is generally the area in which we work. The dark green shadowed areas are the preserves that we have open to the public 365 days a year. And those are open for hiking trails, equestrian use, mountain biking. And we do so often in partnership with other local jurisdictions, including Santa Clara County Parks and RCS Sierra Vista Open Space Preserve that most of you are probably familiar with is adjacent to Alum Rock City Park and Trails Connect. We work really closely with the city. We even have a memorandum of understanding that describes the partnership between our agencies as we share resources with each other to bring more efficient services to the public from the limited taxpayer dollars that we apply. We have also within the urban areas a lot of urban grant program projects. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail when I have a map that zooms in a little bit further, but this just gives you an overview of the area in which we work. And so I mentioned that we were formed in 1993. Our mission that was created at that time was to conserve natural resources, to support agriculture in the region, and also to connect people with nature. And so with that, a lot of what we do is land conservation. So we purchase land or purchase easements on land from private landowners so that that limits development and also gives a benefit to the landowners who participate. All in the name of protecting those important natural resources that provide benefits to everybody in our urban areas as well as in the rural areas with all of those natural infrastructure benefits, as we call them, that includes land and vegetation that helps to clarify our air and water, and the natural floodplain protection that helps to protect us during major storm events, and also that helps to recharge groundwater. As Director Santos had mentioned earlier, we are in a pretty extreme drought, and Valley Water is doing an excellent job of managing the situation. And we are working very closely with them to protect those areas that can help absorb water during storms, and also to recharge those aquifers that are drawn during our times of drought for use by residents, businesses, and farms. So as we protect those lands, we also steward them in perpetuity. That means forever. So that's a long commitment, but it's an important one because we not only manage the lands for the uses that I mentioned where people can hike on them on the trails and use their mountain bikes, but we also steward the lands so that they protect us during wildfire events. So we reduce what are called fuels on the properties. So we reduce some of the vegetation So it's easier to fight fires when one does start. It's also easier for firefighters to access those places when a fire starts. And our work helped in a number of the recent fires over the past years to guide CAL FIRE and San Jose Fire Department and County Fire to areas where they needed to get to suppress the fires. We also are working hard to steward and heal the land when previous damage has been done that maybe causes greater erosion than is healthy for the land and downstream communities. And so we work with partners and volunteer stewards to heal and repair those areas for long-term benefit for everyone, people and wildlife included. We also engage our diverse communities throughout our region, and that region, by the way, includes not just the city of San Jose, but also for other cities in eastern and southern Santa Clara County, which are Milpitas, Santa Clara, Campbell, and Morgan Hill, as well as all the unincorporated areas of the county. And so we engage our community members in some of the environmental education programs that we do, in community gardens that we help fund. We have all sorts of volunteer programs that I'll talk a little bit more about later in case those here on the call are interested in learning more or signing up. We also do a lot of community outreach and communication directly with members of the community, especially around some of our bigger projects like in Coyote Valley that I'll talk about more in a minute here as well. We also launch and forward a number of environmental initiatives, especially with our partners at many different levels of government, also a lot of nonprofit partners, such as these examples that are shown here of various initiatives that we've launched over the past several years to better coordinate conservation efforts in the region, and especially in the face of climate change, so that we're better prepared to preserve and restore our natural infrastructure in the region that helps us deal with climate change. We are also, as I mentioned, stewarding lands and operating the open space preserves for the benefit of the communities that we serve for major extreme events like wildfire and flood and drought. And also during COVID, wanted to mention that we managed to keep all of our preserve trails open throughout the pandemic, not having to close any, because we took great care to create one-way trails and put up lots of signage about the rules that people had to follow during the pandemic. And we also added staff at all of our staging areas where people drove in, and before they even parked, we talked to them in their cars from a safe distance, of course, but let them know what the rules are, answered any questions, allayed their concerns, and then also just helped reinforce what was needed to keep our trails open in a safe way so that we didn't have to close our trails, because it was so important during the pandemic that people had that sort of escape route, that they were able to get out into nature to relieve some of the stress that the pandemic and then of course the major fires over the summer created. So we feel very proud of our staff's effort to keep our trails open throughout. This map shows in those different colored acorns the urban projects that we've completed over the past 5 years with funding from Measure Q. And as a reminder, Measure Q was a parcel tax, very modest one, that was passed in 2014 with over 2/3 majority. So thank you very much to all of those here on the call who voted for that. And also just this last November, Measure T was a follow-up to Measure Q, was on the ballot, which all it did not raise the tax at all, but it extended the tax into the future so that we have to keep going back to voters and incurring that taxpayer expense. It's now a continuous partial tax that we can rely on year to year to do the long-term planning. And amazingly, it passed with 81% vote. I don't know the last time that anything passed in a ballot measure with 81%. So that was a pretty big accomplishment. One thing I wanted to point out in the upper left of your screen is the Sierra Vista, Alum Rock, and then Berryessa area. And there are so many projects that we've conducted in that area, including environmental education programs at the libraries. We've funded a project to connect the Berryessa BART station to Penitentia Creek Trail and up to Alum Rock and Sierra Vista through a Bay Area Ridge Trail project. So we've now got a big connector from public transit, what hopefully will again be a very well used public transit system at the BART station, all the way up to the Bay Area Ridge Trail and beyond. Also have conducted a number of land restoration and trail improvement projects up at Sierra Vista. I also wanted to talk about Coyote Valley, and even though this is at the opposite end of San Jose, down in the south end of San Jose and into rural Santa Clara County, but Coyote Creek runs through the Berryessa region, of course, and so it's important for everybody in San Jose and even in the South Bay because we're protecting natural infrastructure upstream of urban San Jose. And so Coyote Valley, which has often been called a last chance landscape because it was the last chance for wildlife, and their corridor between the Santa Cruz Mountains here in the upper part of your screen and the Diablo Range in the lower part of the screen, even across Highway 101 and Monterey Road, to be able to move between those mountain ranges, which is important anyway, but even more important during climate change, that they can adapt to those changing conditions. And so we have managed to, over the past 18 months, with our partners at the City and Peninsula Open Space Trust, to protect over 2,000 acres. Now, what you see in green here on this map is the protected acres within North and Mid Coyote Valley. And our open space preserve is right here in the corner, and we're just about connected there to that as well. So getting really close to a contiguous body of land with much of the Fisher Creek floodplain. Fisher Creek is a tributary to Coyote Creek, and much of that is already protected, and we hope to continue to do more in the coming years. This map shows it from above, those same properties that have been protected and the larger Coyote Valley landscape that we're also working hard to continue to protect so that agriculture can continue in South County because it is indeed still viable there, and to protect for public recreation, wildlife, and the other natural resources in that area for future generations. This is a pictorial representation of the major elements that we're working on throughout the master planning that's just begun for that Coyote Valley Preserve area. And this timeline shows that we're going to be very busy over the next several years for this master planning effort so that we decide, with engagement of our community throughout the South Bay, what to do with Coyote Valley, how to balance protection of those natural resources with equitable public access. So stay tuned for more information on how you all can engage in that process. And then just one last thing I wanted to mention is the myriad volunteer opportunities that we have going on throughout our preserve system, including at Sierra Vista, to monitor trails, to help educate the public, to steward the lands, and also to provide like tabling events and other outreach activities for the community. Particularly in North Coyote Valley, there will be a number of stewardship and volunteer activities, especially starting in September when the launch for Coyote Valley goes public. But throughout our preserve system, there will be a lot of volunteer opportunities. So that takes care of my presentation. So if that's all right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can see each other once again. And then with that, take any questions. And I do want to mention, I do have some information about the work that we're doing in coordination with the San Jose Police Department and the County Sheriff's Office and others on Sierra Road. But before I start going to that detail, I wanted to see if folks had any questions.
Hi, Mike. I see you joined us tonight. You're on mute, though. You're on mute.
Trying to leave it there so inadvertent noise doesn't get into the meeting. So yes, thank you for doing that great presentation, Mark. And thank you for some time to talk about OSA and what it's been doing. I know during the pandemic, one of the things, and Mark hit upon that, was we had in many cases a doubling or more of participation in all of our outdoor activities. We even kept up some docent-led hikes and other things through very special and careful planning and coordination, so we could lead people out to like Coyote Ridge and other places. So in fact, we gave great admiration and congratulations to one of our volunteer coordinators, in fact, who had in less than a week turned it around from how you do it normally and how you do it under a pandemic situation. So we were very good at that and are still doing that as well. Mark hit upon many things. One of the things is Sierra Vista. And as you heard from our San Jose Police Department representatives and Sheriff's Department, we will be again up at Sierra Vista, including myself, to be monitoring that particular location, along with help from the different police agencies to monitor and also fire watch from that 1,200-foot location up on Sierra Vista. So we actively do that every year. Also, before and after, we have advanced patrols up there in the parking lot looking for spot fires that occur with people that don't put it all on the 4th, but need to get out there early and do the bad thing. And so we're quite involved, and we've been working for a couple of years now with the different police agencies, including CHP as well as our local ones, to figure out how we can improve the things for residents on Sierra Road and control activities that none of us want to see up there. So I just wanted to mention those things and not take any more time for this slot, but I thank you all for letting Mark talk about OSA in general and having a little time specifically to talk about what we're doing in Sierra Road. So thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I was really pleased about the being able to trails being open, because I know my daughter and her friends, they were so happy to discover that they could still go hiking during the pandemic, because they were doing a lot of hiking before. So how wonderful to be able to have that continue, where so many parks and everything else were closing. So wonderful. Did anybody else have questions?
Linda Santos, just a comment. Mark did a 4-star presentation, and Mike Flahar being a director on the open space. I served 2 terms on the advisory council there, open space 100 years ago. And they've done a great job. And, fire is the #1 issue that we worry about up here. And we all love that open space and protecting our endangered species. They've done a marvelous job. But we thank our CHP, San Jose, and the Sheriff's Department, because we got to prevent a fire from this area. It just goes with no stops. So it's very dangerous. But thank you for everybody for preserving that beautiful, beautiful environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Santos. Really appreciate that, and really appreciate the partnership with Valley Water that we do so much work together on to protect our resources and preserve those for future generations. And if I might, Linda,
Yes.
since Mike was also talking a little bit about the efforts on Sierra Road, I can add to that just a bit as well. And in particular, on July 4th, as you heard, Sierra Road will have special attention and have some closures. And we are very closely coordinated with the City of San Jose and the County Sheriff's Office, as well as CHP, to close our preserve early on July 4th. And as Mike mentioned, be on the lookout for any signs of fire starting out, or even any risky behaviors that might lead to that. So we are always on patrol and communicating with law enforcement professionals about anything that we see. And in addition to that, we've invested quite a bit in equipment to put signage on the road that there is no stopping at Sierra Road, because sometimes the parking lot does fill up, and we have staffed up at Sierra Vista to let people know that they can't be parking or even stopping or slowing down if they're waiting to get in the parking lot. They have to continue moving on and can create a hazard for others. We also have invested in delineators out there, and even an electronic sign that we put at the bottom of Sierra Road, and post messages so that when the parking lot's full, we let people know before they start heading up Sierra Road that they're not going to be able to park there. So hopefully deterring those who are at least paying attention to the sign, so that they don't need to drive up and then just have to find a place to turn around and come back down. So we are doing what we can to be good neighbors and participating in safety up on Sierra Road and the surrounding area.
Well, Mike has done a good job over the years keeping us informed about the open space. And I remember him talking about, even at the business association meetings, we've got to be on top of things, because when BART comes, we want to be able to make sure that there's a destination at the end of that line that they can go up and go hiking and biking and all of those things. So Mike has always kept us informed and made sure that we know what's going on. So it's exciting to see. I'm sure it's exciting for you guys to see that things are really coming together like you had kind of envisioned. So are there any other comments, statements? Hi, Raphael. We didn't see you earlier. Okay, I have a couple of now. Yeah, Sita, do you have something to say? Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, I just wanted to mention also that I've always enjoyed all of the trails and the docents also that are on the trails, Mark, and appreciate keeping those trails open during the pandemic. It's a joy to go out and enjoy nature and feel safe, actually. And I've also traversed some of the trails that you had where it says one way, and that was very reassuring. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the trails out
I thought
there.
you might have something to say, Sita. I thought you did a lot of hiking. And
I do.
Good for you. That's great. All right. Anything else? BCA board members, we do have a meeting on June 21st. So I hope you will be there so we can plan for our meeting in September. There's no meetings in July and August. Yay. And our next general membership meeting will be on Monday, September 13th. So those are the only announcements that I have. And I hope everybody else has a wonderful summer, but I would want to make sure that we've got something planned for September when we come back. Maybe it'll be a celebration and we can be in the community center, you never know.
That would be nice.
That's my hope. So anyway, thank you to our guest speakers tonight. Mark and Mike too for filling in more information, and our new police chief. We'll do whatever we can to support you. Whenever you need us, call on us too. We're willing to help. We're very supportive of you. All right.
Thank you.
For the good of the cause.
Thank
Otherwise,
you very much.
the A's are on and I can go watch them play.